I bet you didn't know how a small nation could plunge the global economy into chaos. The year is 2009. The world stands on the precipice of an economic abyss. The world watches in disbelief as financial markets crumble and economies falter. A small nation on the periphery of Europe, Greece, plunges the global economy into chaos, becoming the epicenter of a financial storm. Greece, the cradle of democracy, becomes synonymous with financial recklessness and economic turmoil, its ancient pillars now overshadowed by modern-day fiscal irresponsibility. Its name forever etched in the annals of history as a cautionary tale of hubris and deceit, a stark reminder of the perils of unchecked borrowing and spending. This is the story of the Greek debt crisis, a tragedy in 3 acts marked by years of economic mismanagement, hidden debts, and a desperate struggle for survival. It is a tale of political maneuvering, financial chicanery, and a system pushed to the brink, teetering on the edge of collapse. At the heart of this drama lies a single devastating revelation. Greece's government for years has been underreporting its debt, masking the true extent of its financial woes from the world. This revelation sends shockwaves through the global financial system, exposing the fragility of interconnected economies. Greece's government for years has been underreporting its debt, hiding the true scale of its financial troubles from both its citizens and international partners. The consequences of this deception will be felt far beyond the sun-drenched shores of the Aegean, sending shockwaves through global markets and shaking the very foundations of the European Union. The ripple effects of Greece's financial missteps reverberate across continents, affecting economies and lives far removed from the epicenter of the crisis. The shockwaves sent through global markets shake the very foundations of the European Union, testing the resilience of its economic and political structures. This is a story of how a nation's economic dreams turned into a nightmare, leaving behind a legacy of austerity, social unrest, and shattered trust. The aftermath of the crisis sees widespread social unrest, with citizens grappling with the harsh realities of austerity measures and a broken economy. It is a story that demands to be told, for in its ruins lie valuable lessons for us all. The Greek debt crisis serves as a stark reminder of the importance of transparency, accountability, and prudent financial management in safeguarding the stability of nations and the global economy. To understand the Greek debt crisis, one must first delve into the nation's tumultuous economic past. Greece, for all its ancient glory and cultural significance, has long been plagued by fiscal instability, its modern history marked by periods of growth punctuated by bouts of economic turbulence. Following the devastation of World War II and a brutal civil war, Greece experienced an economic revival, fueled by tourism, shipping, and foreign investment. Yet this period of prosperity masked underlying structural weaknesses, including a bloated public sector, rampant tax evasion, and a penchant for excessive borrowing. Successive governments, often driven by short-term political expediency, resorted to deficit spending to appease voters and maintain a facade of prosperity. This unsustainable borrowing binge, coupled with widespread tax evasion, led to a steady accumulation of debt, pushing Greece further down a perilous path. Despite joining the Eurozone in 2001, which provided access to cheaper credit, Greece's underlying economic problems persisted. The adoption of the euro, while initially perceived as a symbol of stability and progress, ultimately masked the country's fiscal vulnerabilities and lulled policymakers into a false sense of security. As Greece's debt burden grew heavier, so too did the pressure to maintain the illusion of solvency. The government found itself in a precarious position, needing to present a facade of financial stability to both its citizens and the international community. Enter the world of financial engineering, a complex and opaque realm where sophisticated instruments are used to manipulate financial data, often obscuring the true risks lurking beneath the surface. This shadowy domain became a playground for those looking to bend the rules without technically breaking them. At the heart of this financial wizardry lay a series of complex derivatives transactions orchestrated with the help of prominent Wall Street banks. These financial institutions, with their vast resources and expertise, played a crucial role in crafting the intricate deals that would help Greece mask its financial troubles. These deals, shrouded in secrecy and cloaked in technical jargon, allowed Greece to effectively borrow money off the books, concealing the true extent of its indebtedness from the watchful eyes of international creditors and credit rating agencies. The complexity of these transactions made it difficult for outsiders to fully grasp the financial reality. One such technique involved the use of currency swaps, which allowed Greece to convert future revenue streams from sources like airport fees and lottery proceeds into immediate cash injections, all while keeping the debt off the official balance sheet. This method provided a short-term solution, but did little to address the underlying financial issues. These transactions, while legal at the time, amounted to little more than accounting gimmicks, providing a temporary reprieve from the country's mounting financial woes. The relief was fleeting, as the fundamental problems remained unaddressed, merely postponed for a future reckoning. Another tool in Greece's arsenal of financial deception was the use of credit default swaps, essentially insurance policies against sovereign debt defaults. These instruments were used to create an illusion of security and stability, further masking the true financial state of the nation. By purchasing CDSs on its own debt, Greece could lower its borrowing costs, as investors perceived the risk of default to be lower. This strategy, while effective in the short term, added another layer of complexity and risk to an already precarious financial situation, setting the stage for future challenges. Section 4. The House of Cards crumbles, unveiling the debt illusion. For a while the illusion held. Greece basked in the afterglow of the 2004 Athens Olympics, a global spectacle that showcased the nation's newfound prosperity and its integration into the European mainstream. But beneath the surface, cracks were beginning to appear. The global financial crisis of 2008, triggered by the collapse of the US housing market, exposed the fragility of Greece's economic house of cards. As global markets reeled, investors became increasingly risk-averse, scrutinizing the balance sheets of sovereign nations with newfound intensity. Greece, with its history of fiscal laxity and its reliance on complex financial instruments, quickly found itself in the crosshairs. Rumors of hidden debts and accounting irregularities began to circulate, casting a long shadow over the country's economic outlook. Adding fuel to the fire was the election of a new government in Greece in October 2009, led by George Papandreou. Papandreou, a pragmatic leader from the Pan-Hellenic socialist movement, inherited a ticking time bomb, with the true extent of the country's financial woes still largely unknown. Section 5. A Moment of Truth. Papandreou's Fateful Confession. Upon assuming office, Papandreou's new government quickly realized the gravity of the situation. The country's budget deficit, initially estimated at 6% of GDP, was soon revised to a staggering 12.7%, sending shockwaves through the markets and confirming the worst fears of investors. In a moment of candor that would have far-reaching consequences, Papandreou publicly acknowledged the true state of Greece's finances, admitting that the country was on the brink of bankruptcy. This confession, while necessary to restore credibility, shattered the last vestiges of market confidence in Greece. The reaction was swift and brutal. Interest rates on Greek government bonds soared, reflecting the perceived risk of default. Investors, once eager to lend to Greece, now demanded exorbitant rates of return, effectively shutting the country out of international capital markets. Greece, once a symbol of European unity and prosperity, was now teetering on the edge of financial collapse. The euro, once hailed as a beacon of stability, was now facing its greatest test. Section 6. Panic grips the markets, contagion and the domino effect. The financial markets were thrown into a state of panic, with stock markets experiencing unprecedented turmoil. Investors around the world watched in horror as the value of their portfolios plummeted. The Greek crisis quickly morphed into a full-blown sovereign debt crisis, threatening to engulf the entire Eurozone. What began as a localized issue soon spread, revealing the vulnerabilities within the economic union. The interconnectedness of global financial markets, coupled with the Eurozone's flawed architecture, created a perfect storm for contagion, with fears of a Greek default spreading like wildfire to other heavily indebted Eurozone members. The flaws in the Eurozone's design, such as the lack of a unified fiscal policy, became glaringly apparent. Investors, fearing that what had happened in Greece could easily be replicated elsewhere, began to demand higher interest rates on bonds issued by Portugal, Ireland, Italy and Spain, the so-called PIGS, pushing these countries to the brink as well. The rising interest rates made it increasingly difficult for these nations to service their debts, exacerbating the crisis. The euro, once a symbol of European unity and strength, became a source of vulnerability, its value plummeting against major currencies as investors questioned the long-term viability of the single currency project. The currency market was thrown into turmoil, with the euro's decline reflecting the deepening crisis. The European Central Bank, tasked with safeguarding the euro, found itself caught between a rock and a hard place, torn between its mandate to maintain price stability and the need to prevent a sovereign debt crisis from spiraling out of control. The ECB's actions were scrutinized, with every move having significant implications for the future of the Eurozone. The spectre of a Eurozone collapse, once unthinkable, now loomed large, threatening to unravel decades of European integration and plunge the global economy into a recession deeper than that of 2008. The potential for a global financial meltdown was real, with the interconnectedness of economies meaning that no nation would be spared from the fallout. Thank you for watching. If you found this video informative, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth analyses. Don't forget to click the bell icon to stay updated with our latest content. Check out our other videos for more insights into global financial crises and their impacts.